Welcome to Maximizing Your Beauty Biz, Streamlining with Scale and Profit. I was lucky enough to get selected to share this with a makeup artist community. But want to also share this with the larger group because some of these lessons and some of these key points can really be applied to any industry. But definitely for my beauty pros, this one is for you guys. So let's get into it. So let's just talk a little bit about me, just so you know who's actually giving this message. Meet myself, Jacqueline Cade, but hey, you can call me Jackie. Proven results. I've launched multiple e-commerce platforms with refined acquisition strategies, not just for myself, but for others. 20 plus years experience, have a corporate retail background in merchandise planning and operations. So think procurement, think inventory allocation, think merchandise planning. So basically, I was in charge for Fortune 500 companies, the teams that are responsible for helping buyers pick and select winning products, negotiating with vendors for pricing, selecting what goes to what store and how much. That's generally what my background was. And then taking those lessons and transitioning those over into small business arena to help small business owners also become profitable in those industries. And then when we think about operations, I also have a background in streamlining back operations for large and small companies and these things kind of go hand in hand because it's about cutting costs but increasing profits and making more sales. And that takes me to the last point where really my zone of genius is creating processes that are complex and putting them in step-to-step roadmaps for businesses and people like you. Now let's just talk a little bit about streamlined operations, some advanced moves. This is not for, I would say, are just newly into the industry, newly into the beauty industry, whether you are a makeup artist, hairstylist, braider, this really all can apply to you. But if you see this as not just being a hustle, but you really building your beauty business, there are definitely going to be some tips that you can take away so you can start laying that great foundation. Or if you've already been in the business for a while and you're ready to kind of go to that next step, these are some things that we should be implementing now that are going to help that next move, building that beauty empire, a smoother transition. So let's talk about structured SOPs. Now, SOPs are just basically standard operating procedures. And you probably are wondering, like, well, why do I need those? I am a team of one. But one day you won't be. And so if you have a certain way you like to manage your appointments and you think I'm going to get me an assistant, guess what? A SOP already in place to make that transition so much easier because yes, you can do some hands-on training, but you don't want to have to keep repeating yourself. And it's great if you start documenting your processes. And this is where AI has become invaluable to help us kind of easily document SOPs where before it used to be kind of grunt work that you gave that intern to write up or film some videos. But now it's something that really is very simple to do and implement. Workflows, audits, and time blocking. This, guys, is key as you grow into not just, like I said, side hustle, but into being a true owner and entrepreneur. Think about when are you servicing clients, when are you tracking your hours, dedicating time to managing not just your servicing of clients, or when are you going to be working on your business and not in your business. This is going to be specifically key, guys, when we're talking about some ways that we can definitely layer on some different income streams into your beauty business. And then last but not least, again, maybe you're a team of one now, but one day you won't be. And this is if you do already have a team, thinking about how you implement team huddles or check-ins or syncing before your day starts, whether it's at your salon suites or at even virtual. If you have some people that you work with, maybe you guys share space, but just how you kind of continue to do a check-in to make sure everybody's on the same page. Now, elevating your revenue beyond basic services. I mean, I love a good TikTok video, reels on Instagram. I see you girls really just doing your thing because it is truly a talent to do hair. I should know. I can't. I pay someone to do it, and I'm always amazed at how she's able to transform that raggedy head I brought in into a work of art. But you gotta sometimes think about, how are you going beyond the basic services so that we're building in that value add and that time, because when you think about comments that you see and what you're seeing out there in social media and feedback that you're getting, clients understand your time is valuable. We want to charge what we're worth, but also you want to make sure people are feeling like they're getting a value, because that value is going to turn into word of mouth and referrals. And that's why we want to look at how do we build premium packages and get that client loyalty and continue to just kind of layer on and do some cross promos. Premium packaging could be VIP experience for things like all-inclusive bridal. Those definitely are going to command higher prices. And this can be something that you offer to current clients, but it can also be something that you have that maybe you're connecting, and this kind of goes into cross promos, that you're also connecting with event planners in your area, event venues, to say, hey, as people are booking your venue, and how can I get on your list of preferred vendors? So if they need a makeup artist or if they need salon services on site, how can I be with someone that you recommend? And make sure you already are prepared with that pricing. And then thinking about client loyalty and just the psychology of customers. So at the end of the day, the psychology applies to all industry. People love points, people love deals, and what can you give them for being loyalty and being repeat customers? Is it 50% off every 6th visit? Is it a birthday discount or free small service on their birthday? Just think of ways that you can give your clients that extra little treat that kind of builds them into the loyalty and something they can brag about to their friends and be like, oh girl, she gave me a free eyebrow service for my birthday. Those things really do. I know we don't always realize it, but they really do build client loyalty. Let's talk about something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs in general tend to overlook, because if you are out here and about, what you'll hear a lot about is cutting costs, advanced inventory control, but you always hear people talk about sales. How to build more sales, how to get more sales, how to get more clients. That is one half of the equation. The other part of that is cutting costs, or at least controlling your costs. And as beauty professionals, let's think about where you can ensure that you are doing a great job of controlling those costs. These are just a couple of things we're kind of talked through. I'm sure there's some things you may already be doing, but hopefully these are some things that are a little outside the box that you haven't done before. Really keeping track of your best sellers and making sure that you're keeping those on stock. I'm hoping that most of you have layered in some type of product strategy, and not just based on, hey, this is what I use on your hair, so that's the only thing I'm going to sell you. Really think about some things that you may not necessarily use, but let's be honest, we know your clients is going to the hair store and buying certain things. So how can you also have those additional products that you may not be using, but still following your approval list, that you can offer them as an add-on to their service? And who knows? This goes back to our previous slide. Is there a way for you to maybe add those on, but then for your clients that, hey, if it's their service and you buy products today, you get an extra 10% off your product purchase. Always think about how you can be cross-selling, promoting, and building the ticket. Buy collectives. So team up with your fellow pros for bigger discounts. There's always going to be the opportunity for most businesses that you will be able to get a bigger discount if you're buying from the manufacturers if you buy a bigger bulk. So if you're in a salon suite, even, talk to the other suite owners. Are there products that you both are using and that guys can go in bulk? This is really going to be a hot topic too, guys, especially as we're thinking about the recent changes in tariffs. Knowing that things are going to get more expensive, how can we collectively still have some savings but make sure we're getting the products? This can go not just for products that you're selling, but products that you're currently using on your clients. And monthly expense checks. This is something that people overlook, not just in business, but even in their personal life. We have all had those times where things are on auto pay or auto renewal, and we really aren't necessarily keeping track of it. Make sure you're reviewing your overheads and negotiate with these vendors, especially if you've been a loyal long-term customer and you are consistent, never had any issues. How can they continue to retain you? Client loyalty works both ways. We're talking about how you can keep your clients loyal. Well, how can they keep your vendors keep you loyal and get referrals to them? Make sure you're looking at this monthly, not quarterly, not every 6 months, not once a year. We are running into times where monthly is going to be imperative. And this is where if you see that there's something you're paying for and you are really not using, it might be time to cut that off and restructure. So tech and automation for the win. This is one of these things that's really close to my heart and something that I'm really excited to kind of talk through because I know a lot of you use Acuity for booking. And Acuity probably is the one of the ones I would recommend. They have so many great features that are built into their plans, especially if you are utilizing it to maybe help you weed out people before they can even get on your books. But for you guys who maybe haven't quite made that step yet, let's talk a little bit about ways to automate the CRM and automatic follow-ups. Now, I'm going to go back and use me as an example, guys. So I am notorious for not being consistent on keeping up with my appointments. I don't always like to book before I leave because honestly, with 3 kids, a husband, and a couple of businesses and clients, it's sometimes hard for me to make that commitment while I'm getting out the chair. And it would be lovely if this was back in the day before all of that, where I could say, hey, yeah, every Friday at noon, I'm going to be in your chair. But that's not the life I'm living. And that is now the reality for quite a few of those more affluent clients, right? We're on the go. We're super busy. Our schedule is sometimes already blocked. It's not that we don't want to come in and see you. We're just trying to figure out when we can. Or we just need that like friendly reminder that, hey, girl, it's been a while. So think about how you can build in some automatic follow-ups with your consistent or long-term clients that will send them that recommendation like, girl, it's time for a trim. Send them a text and say, let's get you booked in. Or this works for Fashion Nova. This works for Amazon. It works for all other industries. Why are you not following up with people who haven't been in to see you for a while? You can also have a little reminder of, hey, it's been 6 months since your last appointment. 10% off services if we can get you back in. Think about ways that we can still stay top of mind for our clients. CRM and automatic follow-ups can help you with that. Now, if you're using Acuity, I think that actually does have some functionality for that. Another great tool may be if you're doing anything for newsletters. They also may have that capability. But if not, I'm always happy to take questions on recommendations for other CRMs. Think about how your online booking lips. One-stop shopping for booking, paying, and tipping. This is one of my personal favorites because at this point, y'all, I never have any cards. I barely want to carry the purse, but I'm always going to have my phone. And sometimes, again, when I do think about I need to book something, it's usually like at 2 a.m. I can't have time to text you and see when you free or when you can slide me in. I love my current stylist has online booking and that I can put my deposit down when I book or pay in full for the services I know that I'm getting. And then it follows up with me and says tipping. I think there are quite a few. I think it is Vigo or Vigo. I know I'm butchering that one. I'll have to find it for you guys and maybe put it in the comments. But there's definitely some online booking opportunities or booking tech that you can use that has all of this in one place. And then just think about expanding online. You can do Shopify is one of my favorites, especially if you're thinking about integrating products that your customers or clients can buy online with you too. But even if you get a website by Wix and Shopify both have the capability of adding in booking services. So your clients can also book there and potentially buy any products they need before or after the appointment. So think about it that way. Let's just say you sell bundles and okay, they're booking an appointment that they know that they will need to buy that hair for the appointment. You probably prefer to buy the hair from you, right? Let's integrate that so that they go on your website, book a service. The service is okay, based on the service that you're booking, we recommend that you also add this to your cart. Easy, done, one stop shop for them, one stop shop for you, and we're not having to do that in person hack. So let's just recap. We got SOPs, making daily operations run on pilot because like I said, right now you might be a team of one or you're ready to start expanding and adding more people into your business. It's time to start documenting certain processes. And again, you can easily do that with Loom. You can do that with even Zoom, guys. If you have that, Google Meet, there's several ways to do this. Then there's the data. Look at the data in your business. Look at the revenue. Look at how your money is coming in and how is it going out. Got to look at our sales and expenses and see how we can leverage those costs as we're growing sales. And then last but not least, level up with premium packages, VIP packages, loyalty perks. Think about how we're going to retain the clientele that we do have. Now, if any of this was helpful, or if you feel like you need some one on one consulting and doing a deep dive into operations and inventory solutions for your business, I would love to work with you. I do work with one on ones, and I do also have a couple of services that are kind of turnkey that work for any industry. So you can schedule a one-on-one, which will be in the comments. You can also find me on Facebook or at JMK Consults on TikTok and IG. Also available for team training workshops on frameworks and scaling strategies. So if you have a group that you would like me to come speak to, if it is a professional group of makeup artists, other beauty industries, or honestly any industry, more than happy to help conduct a workshop. And again, you can schedule one-on-ones with me. The link could be in the comments, Facebook, or you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. I hope some of this was helpful, maybe spark some ideas of things that you can do to help cut costs, but increase sales also in your business. Happy selling.